This is the second generation of the first premium mid-size suck. Did I say it with a straight face?
SUC is a name BMW invented for a strange idea of merging an SUV and a coupe into a sports activity coupe. Basically, it's an SUV with a coupe roofline, a coupe version of X3. And since BMW is exploring niches all across its model range, it had to expand from just odd number series into even number series. And so your 2s, 4s, 6s and now 8s signify a coupe version of something vaguely normal. Hence the X4, which since its debut in 2014 sold over 200,000 examples worldwide.
I'll admit I wasn't particularly impressed with the first generation X4. Is the new car anything more than just a less practical X3?
BMW promises lower center of gravity than in the X3. This, in turn, is supposed to translate into better driving characteristics. We'll see about that in a moment. Moreover, as standard, BMW gets intelligent all-wheel drive system, that's X-Drive in BMW parlance, Sport M suspension and Sport adaptive steering. And this is supposed to convince the client that an X4 is much more than just an X3 with a bit of a boot cut-off.
The 525-litre boot is just 25 litres smaller than in the X3. 25 litres? That's much less than my case.
Fold the rear seats and cargo area grows to 1430 litres. As standard, the rear backrest splits 40-20-40, which makes the car more functional.
BMW boasts 3 full-size rear seats. Now, I am full-size, so let's see if the extra 4 centimeters width makes a difference. So, for a 4-door coupe, this is not bad. Of course, there's a tunnel running through the middle, AC vents. Thanks God for AC, because it's about 30 degrees Celsius in Spartanburg today, and it's noon as I'm recording this. Knee room, perfect. Headroom, I'm 175 centimeters tall, so yes, there is place for me. However, I have a German guy watching me, and he's 2 meters 5 centimeters, and well, I used him to get focus here, and he doesn't fit. But he's 2 meters 5 centimeters tall, so.
Have you seen my BMW X3 first drive video? If not, this is a good moment to click the link in the upper right corner of the screen. X3 now has hexagonal-shaped LED day running lights, and we also see the hexagon inside, for example on the center console. Since the X4 is based on the X3, the same hexagon shape can be seen inside. New infotainment system integrates with apps and has internet connectivity. More about that in another video when I get to spend more time with the new infotainment system back home.
Thanks to internet connectivity and RTTI, or real-time traffic information as it's called, we can avoid traffic and take advantage of the car's improved, apparently, dynamics. So let's see how the new X4 handles.
Before I take to public roads, BMW kindly invited me to drive on their skid pad and on a short track on which some of the cars made in the factory across the highway are put through their paces. This is the skid pad on which BMW set a new longest drifting record in the M5. I suspect I won't be drifting as long, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay, so we are in a diesel 40D, M40D BMW X4 on a skid pad. We are in DSC off mode, traction control off. So the diff is locked and it allows us for some slip. I'm drifting a very nose-heavy car, okay? A two-tone SUV or SAC or SAC or whatever you want to call it. And, whoopa, this was a bit dodgy, but yeah. It's brilliant. Whoa! Saved it.
And now the track. There's an instructor in the car in front of me. I promised him I'll stay on the track, but he's supposed to drive fast enough for me to show you what you're unlikely to experience in your own car.
Okay, so we are on BMW's test handling circuit next to the Spartanburg factory in the United States. The X4, which is a two-tone almost SUV, handles surprisingly well. It's somewhat tail-happy, as you may notice. This is something BMW was working on, and they wanted to give this chassis, despite it being all-wheel drive, they wanted to make it feel rear-wheel driven, and it is exactly that. It corners fast, a long sweeping corner here. It brakes very good, and I feel we could get a lot more from it if I were a better driver, of course. But I am very, very impressed at how this car handles, and well, thanks for Andy there for leading me and making me look good. All I have to do is follow him and not fall off the track. Whoa! Very good car. A tight hairpin here, into another tight hairpin, and come on.
Okay, and now for the boring and useful stuff, the road test. New BMW X4 gets a choice of 4 and 6 cylinder petrol and diesel engines with power ranging from 184 to 354 horsepower. 8-speed Steptronic gearbox is standard across the range, and optional Sport gearbox is available on more powerful models. It includes Sport Plus and launch control. This test example is the most powerful diesel. BMW press fleet manager in Poland is laughing every time we speak, because I'd really like to drive a basic diesel with a manual one day. And what do I get as my next test car from BMW? An M5.
So what's it like to drive? Acceleration. And this is all I can show you on public roads because we are in the United States of America and the speed limit is 55 kilometers per hour. And to be honest, if not for the track course and the wet handling course, this would be the most boring test drive ever. For those of you who have not been to the United States of America, land of the free, the roads are long, straight and boring, and speed limits are low, and I don't want to have anything to do with the local law enforcement because I want to return to our great European Union within the next couple of hours or so. Anyway, what can I tell you about driving this car on these long, straight roads? Now, the steering. This has the adaptive steering. I know some people have a problem with adaptive steering. I don't understand why. Adaptive steering, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best inventions there are. You don't have to turn the wheel a lot in the parking lot, and you know, when you're going on a normal road, you use it like any other normal car. And this one actually feels quite responsive. My God, there's a turn on our route. Whoa, I didn't expect that. We survived that, barely. Anyway, so on the road, this adaptive steering, variable steering works just fine. On the track, I think there may have been one situation where either I didn't know what the car was doing or the car didn't know what I was doing. So basically we apologized to each other and went our separate ways. But otherwise, it's fine. Now, there was an issue in some BMW cars with this kind of dead feeling in the center. And some blamed it on the tires, some blamed it on suspension, some blamed it on this adaptive steering. Apparently none of that is true. BMW reluctantly agreed there were some issues with some parts which were not as durable as one would expect, and now the problem apparently has been resolved. And in this car, the steering is precise enough, and yeah, sure, it's a bit vague as you would expect from electrically assisted steering, but it's okay. It's not Porsche, but it's okay. Suspension. This is the M40D, which is the most sporty. It's got big rims, but it also has adaptive suspension, which makes it more comfortable, I guess, on rougher surface. And if you want to drive it more sporty, it's gonna be more sporty. And oh my god, I think we are about to take all the corners there are in North Carolina, because there are like 3, 4, 5. Oh my god. So the suspension is okay, but if you want comfort, then you might want to choose a Mercedes-Benz, for example. Brakes. Surprisingly enough, nothing wrong with them. We've been driving the car on the track and I haven't noticed any fading, at least during the couple of laps I had with the car. Of course, BMW always makes sure that we cool the brakes down every several laps, but as we were progressively driving faster and faster, I didn't feel any fading, so that was okay. How is it versus the X3? Now, on the road, I think they're pretty much the same, despite this being slightly lower and having lower center of gravity. On track, if you're planning to take an X4 on the track, this is obviously going to be more sporty, more dynamic, and I really appreciate the rear-wheel drive feel it has. So that's really cool.
BMW also offers driver aids and semi-autonomous driving. Active cruise control also works in stop-and-go traffic. There is also active lane keeping assist or crosswind alert system.
Like the X3, also X4 has 204mm ground clearance. Breakover angle is 19 degrees, approach angle is almost 26 degrees, and departure angle is 22.6 degrees should you ever feel like taking this car off-road. And if there is a deeper puddle somewhere on your way, then this car has a 0.5 meter forging depth. Like you're ever gonna try it.
Prices of the new BMW X4 start at around €50,000 for the 2-liter petrol model. This test example is an M40D and it starts at €70,900.
So, is BMW X4 something more than an X3 with a smaller boot? Well, first of all, the boot is not that much smaller, and secondly, driving fun is much greater, as we've seen on the track. I dig the design and the tech, but personally I think I'd still go with an X3.
And what do you like more, an SUV or a SAC? Or maybe you'd rather go with an old-fashioned practical estate? Let me know in the comment section below. Subscribe if you haven't, share this video with your friends who are looking for a new car, and if you like my work, support me on Patreon or PayPal, links in the description below. New episodes every Friday. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.